Welcome back to the show, everybody. The one and only triple the G.O.D, the squadron and you. Yes, you. You're live right here with us, right here on Team GRF TV, baby. And yo, we got some of that WWE for that culo, baby. Some of that pro wrestler, bro. Because let's talk about Hell in a... No, we can't. We can't talk about Hell in a... yet. Because we have a new era, a whole new era of things, new logos, pyrotechnics, because WWE, remember that was the thing, the way you presented your product once, and a whole bunch of other things. But given new logos and pyro and things like that, I think we need to go back to last Monday. That would be a start if we go back to last Monday and work our way through the week to get to Hell in a Cell, because Hell in a Cell was pretty dope, and I want to get to that. But let me get you there. So, given that it's a new era, new everything, and all this stuff is turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there as I talk about the WWE and all the changes. Doom, 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 doom. Okay, so Fresh Prince reference out the way. Throw that box over there. Okay, so Raw has a new commentary team. Vic, what's his name? Because I should say Vic Madurpa, but that would probably be bad, and we don't want to do that because, that's still in litigation. We won't talk about that. Jerry the King Lawler. And that boy, Brennan Williams, a.k.a. the Great Black Otaku, a.k.a. Superior Wooly, has now changed his name to Dio Madden. And I'm like, this dude's a beast. Like, I love seeing him up, down, and things like that. But, changing your name to Dio Madden, that takes some balls. That takes some balls to go all JoJo reference. Bravo, baby. Bravo. Hold it down for the streets. No matter what your color is, baby. Holding it down for the hood. I appreciate that. In other news, Brock Lesnar sexually molested and very, very beat down Rey Mysterio and his son. And this will have payoff 4 days from now. We'll talk about that. But Brock Lesnar walked out there because there was supposed to be a match between Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins. And then the Beast went out there and conquered, no homo, 2 men. That was a disaster piece. That was dumb. And that moment would set the trend for the rest of WWE's week. It would, because of the thing we got to get to. But Raw was Raw, and again, we talked about the thing that happened, and that's going to lead into Friday. But Wednesday, though. Wednesday. AEW Dynamite murdered NXT. In between that, at some point, Kenny Omega shot hard on NXT because you're Kenny Omega, the cleaner. So you got the right as the best bout machine to shit on NXT. You can do that because you're Kenny Omega, and I love you. Speaking of, we gonna get to AEW Dynamite and All Out and all that stuff in another separate video. I would never combine the two, but NXT put on a great show, but everybody was hyped for AEW Dynamite, and let's just get a spoiler for that video. Just put it out there. So, Wednesday, I'm going to toss that over in the corner. Friday night on SmackDown. Renee Young has been expelled from TV. I know why, but let's just go with the joke to pretend that I don't know why Renee Young is somewhere else and not on a commentary booth with the 2 people she was on commentary with because of the whole women's evolution, blah, blah, blah. So, just that's in the box. We're going to throw that away, too. Let me see. Let me see. There was a dude named Tyson Fury, and he's beefing with Braun Strowman for some reason. I don't know why. I don't get it. I didn't know that these were the things we were going, but WWE never went away from that. So it's not that like they went away from it, but it's kind of like, well, I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. What else happened on SmackDown? Oh, wait. Kofi Kingston gave Brock Lesnar a hug by jumping into his arms. He got F5 and beat 9 seconds, which undid everything you've done since before WrestleMania. Why? Oh, wait. I know. Because it's time for what we like to call course correction out of nowhere. But see, here's the problem. And we're going to get into this as I talk about Hell in a Cell. As someone who watched wrestling, I should have saw Kofi Kingston getting instant hell murdered by Brock Lesnar. Should have saw that coming, seeing as he didn't have a match on the pay-per-view booked against somebody, so you knew it wasn't going to be no throwaway match unless they really was going to have Brock murder some fool in Hell in a Cell. So I should have saw that coming, given that this Fox thing is very important and you trying to put your best foot forward. More on that in the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view as we talk about it. Yeah, Kofi gonna get murdered. So the draft, we gonna have fun with that, and we'll talk about the draft Tuesday after next. Tuesday after next, we're gonna do a whole thing about the draft. Look at all the draft things, and we'll actually probably wait till the end of the week, because usually, then it's like WWE get all the stuff on the stuff and the thing and the stuff. So, oh no, I don't get it. You built up all that goodwill to shit down a toilet in 9 seconds. No, that's 8. Yeah, there we go. See, it was this. No, it's this. Yeah, 4 plus 5 is 9. That's how long the match lasted, because we got to make Brock look good in exchange for a run that had to end at some point. Because here is my honest thing. I said this a couple months ago. When that weird finish happened at SummerSlam, I thought that Randy Orton was going to be Kofi clean the next time they met, and Kofi whooped him clean. Given that there was no one else literally they could build up, yeah, it's time for you to get murdered by Brock Lesnar, because we need to have Brock Lesnar front and center on our Fox show that we present like a football game, because it's Fox, I suppose. Seeing as Brock never showed up when he was the Universal Champion, do we really think it's a good idea to put the title back on him so he can just not show up for weeks at a time, not defend his title at pay-per-views? Because I thought WWE, you learned your wrestling, and I guess you did not. So, whatever. Okay, just... You know what? Let's just put that Brock Lesnar thing in a box and just shove it over here. Let me pull up the results for Hell in a Cell, so that we are making sure that we aren't missing nothing. Let me see. So, okay. So I got the stuff over here in the corner. I got it right here for the streets over here. So let's review. Oh wait, I'm not done yet. I'm not done with SmackDown. Get the Brock Lesnar box, I heard. Because we need to sit it down, because we need to pull things out of it again, because I'm not done. Okay, so, remember we talked about this magical, wonderful Kofi Kingston reign, where he overcome all the odds. He Yu-Gi-Oh'd that, set up the heart of the cards, destiny, all that old Naruto Uzumaki, believe that. For you to get murdered in 9 seconds, get ignored, and then Rey Mysterio with his broken arm and his son, who was a prop in a wrestling match 50 million years ago, for you to walk out with Cain Velasquez and Brock Shook, and I'm like, everything. Whatever, bruh. No. Nah, fam. You telling me Kofi went out there and jobbed the Brock Lesnar so that you can start a literal feud between him and Cain Velasquez? And I'm like, August 1 warning, MMA legend Tito Ortiz. Woo! This is bringing back bad memories. Like, I should go find that video, because that video that had the remix, like, woo, MMA legend Tito Ortiz. Do. I'm not amused in any way. Me no amused anyway. No, totally not at all. But yeah, but the way that Kofi just got disrespected and dismissed like that, for him to jump, he jumped in the Brock arms rocked. Brock spent him, hit it with the F5, and Kofi was gone. Like, that's how little you think about this dude. And it's like, this dude been running for months, and then you feed him to Brock Lesnar. How many more wonderful people? Give me this towel, because I'm sweating all over. Put some water. Get some of that. Getting all sweaty right now. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Cain Velasquez, Tyson Fury. I'm going to spoil you a little bit on this pay-per-view. I have expected Ronda Rousey to walk out during the first actual match on this pay-per-view. She didn't. And I'm kind of glad and kind of sad for that, because if we just going to sit up here and put boxing fools up against Braun Strowman that The dude who Brock whooped in UFC is in the wrestling ring now. Why? And AEW Dynamite, but we'll deal with that. Okay, so that we've done with that, and I'm still salty about Kofi. Let's stuff all of that in the Brock Lesnar ruined SmackDown box, and we'll just throw it over there. So, now that we've established all of this, Sunday, hell in them cells, bro. Cage in Purgatory. It's going down. There was a pre-show match between Natalya and Lacey Evans, and Lacey Evans still on this downward spiral because Natalya won, and they're going to have a last woman standing match tonight on Raw. Not invested in this in any way. I'm glad we mentioned it. Can we move on, please? Can I get that towel back? Yeah, I want the towel because it's a little sweaty down here. So, our opening contest, which I was surprised was the opening contest. The Man versus The Boss in Hell in a Cell. Match of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Even given the ending of this pay-per-view, which we gonna talk about, this was an actual match you should watch. I'm not gonna say nothing. Becky, Sasha Banks murdered each other. It was wonderful. The end. The end. Becky's still the champion because, you know, we don't need to course correct the man being the champion, especially when she's on the front cover of your video game that comes out in a couple of weeks. So you probably don't want to do that course correct right now because you want to sell copies of your video game and with your champion on the front of it. Yeah. Seriously, no BS. That match was off the meter. Like, I have seen a lot of innovative offense over the years that I've watched matches in Hell in a Cell when they have devolved into this murder spree, but the Boss and Sasha Banks brought it. Well, they are the same person. I mean, the man. Yeah, something about testicles in the Rock. We should have talked about that, but we will get our opportunity to talk about King Corbin later. But, you know, if it's man the Rock cooking SmackDown, premiered on Fox, blah, blah, blah. Let's put that in the Rock as the greatest box and just throw that over there. Just because we did it. That match was amazing. No BS. That match was off the meter. And if there's any match you need to watch from that pay-per-view, it is indeed The Boss and the Man. Match was that good. Match of the match of the year candidate. As far as I'm concerned, in my worldview, that's some of the best professional wrestling I've seen this year. Or sports entertainment, whatever. One of the best I've seen this year. And I've seen a lot of great matches over a whole bunch of it. So, good show. Alright, what we got next? Scroll down. I gotta say, I love the idea that they made the Cancer Joe, Daniel Bryan, Rowan and Harper match into a tornado tag, which just let them go dumb. Just people getting run over, speared through things, power bomb through things. It's just, I was like, that match was dumb to watch. It's like, you know, like for people who like watch wrestling, it's like you watch one of those dumb matches where just things are just happening, and it's like it was your standard match in that instance where somebody take a rest spot for a while, or one dude get his ass beat, come make the save, back and forth, ebb and flow, and the ebb and flow, which I think that even though there were a lot of times where people were just plain missing, it did the job. It did the job, and it's like the thing was, even though Roman and Bryan won, and Harper had to eat that pin to continue to make Roman look strong and more making people look hella strong later in this pay-per-view. Yeah, I'm like, yo, I really appreciate what they doing with the boy Roman, with Harper, that we're going to try to keep Roman Reigns as far from the title picture, but again, he'll probably, depending on the draft, he'll probably be the one to save you from Brock Lesnar's ass, so good luck with that. And Daniel Bryan is Daniel Bryan. So, yay, we talked about a match. And Yeah, that spirit through the table was dope. Like that was a dope spot. I ain't even gonna lie. Oh, speaking through dope spots through tables, one of the things I forgot in the SmackDown thing, Shane O'Mac got fired because Kevin Owens won a ladder match, and we're like, well, okay. I'm not sitting up here saying that Kevin Owens and I don't love Shane McMahon putting his elbow through somebody's heart, going coast to coast. None of that. But that was something that went on way too long. And given that they just needed a reason to get Shane off TV. So I guess if you're going to go out, yeah, go do a dumb ladder match. We'll see him before WrestleMania. We'll see Shane before WrestleMania. So the big homie will be back diving off things. So don't worry about that. What we got next on the match list? Can we talk about history for a moment? Because one of the matches that according to the commentary that was spoken about, that one of the matches that was added to the card for some reason was Randy Orton versus Ali. And you guys remember Ali, right? He was the human sacrifice that not only lost his first name, lost his spot in the Elimination Chamber, which led to Magical Kofi jumping into Brock Lesnar's arms, no homo, to get F5 to death for them to not remember that he was the champion so that they could start a feud with Cain and Velasquez. That Ali, that guy. See? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that was the thing. I gotta say this. Randy Orton won, but it was a wonderful showcase for Ali. I don't know if he gonna be sniffing anywhere near the main event ever again in his career. And I'm not saying that a push from the fans that if he don't get over with the fans, and we gonna talk about somebody else who's in a similar position with Ali, who may be making that transition to get higher up in the card, but Ali with that counter to the RKO was dumb. That was dumb. And I'm like, that. It's like for Randy Orton to just hop in the ring and do what he gonna do. Especially, speaking of things I didn't talk about on Raw, the sequel to Oil Money. What is this? Oil Money number 6. We back at Crown Jewel. We got Ric Flair and Hogan captain in the team. Ric Flair got Randy Orton. He got Randy Orton, Randy Orton and Randy Orton and Randy Orton and Randy Orton and Randy Orton. It's like when you play Tekken and you pick all the same characters in the team. No, but seriously, it's Randy Orton, King Corbin, and Brock Lesnar, who stuck his tongue down Lana's throat by cucking Rusev, and I'm just like, you say what now? But then you sent Rusev on TV 2 weeks ago like he the father of Maria Baby, and we know it wasn't true. And then they asked him about Lana, and then Lana like, I love blackness, man. It's like BBC, and it's like, WWE, are you serious with this? Like, here's some history for you. Just because I'm on this tangent as we move from match to match, the WWE wasn't happy with the way that Lana and Rusev did their own thing or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Especially they was mad because, like, them getting married and them releasing that stuff and doing all this, messed up all their storylines and did all that, and they was always mad at that union. So, have some man's wife kiss a black guy on cable television. That's how you get the ratings, bitch! And I'm like, no, totally not. This is going to be interesting for the 2 seconds that this lasts, but no one's really invested in this. But yeah, just to review, Ric Flair and at Hollywood, I Hate Niggers Hogan sitting up here like, yo, let's go to Oil Money Town. Let's get this oil money, baby, because like oil money, woo! America, oil money, just whatever. So just to review all of that, right now, Team Flair is Randall, King Corbin, and Jungle Fever Man versus Seth Rollins, who we gonna talk about later, and Kuksev. Because why? I don't know. But oil money. Get that. Oil money. But yeah, oil money is on Halloween. So on Halloween, when I'm waiting for the day after Halloween to go like to the dollar store and get the candy for like 75% off, we gonna be sitting here talking about oil money pay-per-view, because oil money, only money 39, more oil money. Oil money. Sheik Abdur oil money. There's nowhere else I can go with that joke. So how about we continue to talk about this pay-per-view? This makes me happy, but it also confuses me. Let Uncle Triple tell you a story about the next match we're talking about. Dickie Miss Bliss and Nikki Cross, aka Murderer from Uranus Lady, if you watch Up, Up, Down, Down and that continuity, have been the tag team champions for a while. Remember, something about the Iconics or whatever, and, the world has forgotten about you, but I heard Peyton Royce is no longer with the company, but that's the last thing I heard. I ain't watched none of the other wrestling stuff to her, but I heard she in deep, deep trouble if nothing else. But her man is Sean Spears, and we gonna talk about him when we talk about AEW Dynamite, because that match with him and Cody was dumb and something about a spine buster. But we'll talk about it. But anyway, given all this, that Dickie Miss Bliss and Nikki Cross, the murderous chick from Uranus, you know what I'm saying, or have been your tag team champions for a while, halfway not defending them and defending them against Fire and Desire or Kid Lick and Wiki or some Nintendo game referencing that don't mean nothing to none of y'all or whatever. But given this random thing is that, remember Paige, she made a video that you probably watched. We won't talk about that, but she was supposed to be the manager for the Kabuki Warriors and had been trying to get them a title shot. But she's mysteriously disappeared. No one cares about Kana-chan nor Kairi Sane. But you should watch Kana-chan TV. It's like the greatest thing on the internet. I have never met a woman who cusses adorably. And I'm just like, yes. Like, yes. You should watch Kana-chan TV. You should. It's amazing to hear Asuka cuss, and it's the most adorable thing you will watch. Believe me, no bullshit. But regardless of Kana-chan TV and something about, I hope she plays Virtual Fighter 5. But the thing is, the women's title picture has been this weird magical what the fuck, because no one knows what's going on. Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss just go defend the titles against people, and no one cares because there's technically no story and hasn't been a story. But the only time they're involved in story when it's talking about the women's championship on SmackDown and something about Bayley later, cross correction, blah blah blah. But more pre-show nonsense. The Kabuki Warriors are given a title shot for reasons, and I don't know. I'm happy that Asuka has a title around her pre-waist, and Kairi Sane, Insane Elbow, drop them on fools all day. I'm happy. I don't know what this is gonna do for Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, and I don't know what to say about that. Asuka used the green mist, and I'm like, my heart melted and grew 30 sizes that day because my babe putting in his work like the way she should have been. Because I'm still salty about WrestleMania ago. Yeah, Uncle Triple still angry. Why win the Royal Rumble? Why get her the title for her to drop it against Charlotte? Why? No one has still on the internet yet. No one has still figured out what literal reason why you would have Charlotte beat Asuka. I'm not sitting there saying that's like some big deadly sin about Brock Lesnar who fucks his wife and milks cows, beat the Undertaker for reasons we still don't get to this day. But then we say the same thing about Cancer Joe, so it's kind of weird. But I'm at a point where the match was pretty good. The Miz was wonderful. A technical heel turn for those who were faces. And I don't know what this does for anyone. I'm like, given that, again, this is surprise course correction, the pay-per-view, given this information, and this is important to remember this, because see, every time I have to think about why this happened. This is Elimination Chamber in October. Because remember, if you don't keep up with the show, then let me give you a spoiler for later this year when it's Elimination Chamber time. The pay-per-views leading up to WrestleMania are what I like to call course correction pay-per-views. So if you're trying to get a certain match popping off and that you didn't get your stuff started at the Royal Rumble, where mostly your stuff leading into WrestleMania, except if you are named John Cena and or The Rock, where you usually set these things up so that they drive you all the way to WrestleMania, and in between then, if you need to make title changes or you need to get somebody off TV or do something like that, you have these level of pay-per-views, and also like the weird extended long builds because there is no pay-per-view between A and B when you get to WrestleMania. This is that because of the whole new era and drafts and things. So I have to, every time I remember when this happened, it took me a second because number one, I'm happy for Asuka, she got some titles. Number two, I had to then remember this is a course correction pay-per-view, and then no homo Kofi Kingston giving Brock Lesnar a hug to get F5 to death to bring in Cain up from Velasquez. I have to remember course correction, folks, and it's just like whatever. I don't get it, and you know, I don't get it. I don't get it, and you do what you do with that, but yeah, we've talked about this for way too long. I will admit that, but no. We'll take the but, throw it away. However, because I don't want to negate what I said, I want to know where this goes. We ain't gonna know about how this goes until Tuesday. Well, until probably after Friday Night SmackDown on Fox. This man bitch or whatever. We'll learn what reverberating effects the draft will have. What the immediate course correction that you've made with this pay-per-view and the wrestlers involved to figure out like what the landscape is gonna be. So probably my plan gonna be is I'm probably gonna do a video Saturday because that'll get a whole week for everything to suss out, for everything that's gonna happen, because NXT, last time I heard they ain't talking about NXT much being involved in the draft. Something about Finn Balor, but you know, whatever. But yeah. Course correction, ladies and gentlemen. We've talked about this way too long. Congratulations to Asuka and Kairi saying, go watch Chan TV. It is the best thing ever. I've never heard the words. Oh shit, sounds so cute. Just putting it out there for you. Moving right along, what we got? Can I have a second, please? Yeah, right, because this should demonstrate something. Give me a second. It's gonna come together. Let's see. The Viking Raiders and Braun Strowman beat the OC in DQ for reasons. They used this match to sell this Tyson Fury nonsense. The Viking Raiders will probably be the tag team champions at some point, because who are the Raw tag team champions? Oh, Bobby Pornstash Rude and Dolph No One Knows Me Ziggler. Oh, I remember. Sorry, because you know the Revival are the SmackDown tag team champions, and they ain't been on TV since they won the damn titles. Well, they had the celebration, then they ain't been on TV since, so, you know, whatever. Fuck continuity, it don't matter. War Raiders, War Machine, the Viking Experience. Shut up. You know what? You know what that water simulated? What I did when this match came on. I had to use the bathroom. So guess what I did? I went to use the bathroom. I watched this match on the run back and I was kind of like, whatever. And I don't get this. And this don't really matter. And I see why it had to end in disqualification. But it didn't necessarily need to do that. I don't know. The call to the end was weird. It was some decent spots in it, but this is all a Tyson Fury sell, and it's just like, it's good to know where your head is. Good to know where your head is, WWE. Just letting you know. At some point during all of this, Tamina won the 24/7 title, and then won it back, and then Carmella won it back later. Something about Funaki in a ninja stance and R-Truth doing the crane, and I am confused. R-Truth is now the 24/7 champion again because Carmelo was sick of being chased around or whatever. I don't get it. Tyler Breeze was involved in this at some point, but I don't know. The 24/7 title getting more convoluted and comedy by the day. You want to know what I love about wrestling? One of the things that I love about wrestling that's not Maxwell Jacob Friedman. That man is king motherfucking Corbin. That dude's a beast. That dude a beast. Because I'm like, he done won me over. Like, I sit up here now, especially in this match, where Shorty Gable, as his name is now, he's Shorty Gable. He is no longer Chad Gable. According to the directive of the King of Corbans, his name is Shorty Gable, bruh. I'm like, the thing was, you needed Chad to get this win because again, remember he used a team with Kurt Angle's black son who we ain't seen in years, and we ain't gonna never see his black ass again. So don't worry about that. I remember I heard the American Alpha thing was like doo 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 boom or whatever, but they put on a decent match. I'm like, I was expecting a lot less from that match because it was the 50th time y'all done been in the ring together. Facetiousness. But it was good to see Shorty Gable get one over. I'm like, that is comedy, dog. That was comedy, dude. And they sit up here selling, you got the ring announcer, the winner, Shorty Gable, dog. I was down laughing. I'm like, are you serious with this right now? But the thing was, later in the night, just so we don't talk about it, he was having Shorty Gable was having an interview with King Corbin. Whoop that ass. So this is gonna be a thing for a while. Because honestly, I'm going to say this live. At this juncture, I see now why Kurt Angle lost to Baron Corbin at WrestleMania. I see it. See, this is the Undertaker thing done right by someone who can literally carry it like Brock Lesnar did not because it was a thing that didn't have to happen. See, he carried all his heat being Constable Corbin, being the dude who retired Kurt Angle. All his smack he gets talked about on the daily, including getting destroyed on the mic by The Rock and the Man. Calling the Man Shorty Gable, then losing to a roll-up after he wanted to hit him with the scepter. I'm like, the thing is I'm like, I think tonight made me a Baron Corbin fan, yo. Like, just like, for real, like I said earlier, and we'll talk about that when I talk about AEW. It's like, I'm like, you know what? I will just keep the Maxwell Jacob Friedman stuff, and I'll leave that in the corner. Because the same reason that I'm feeling Baron Corbin now is why I've been feeling Maxwell Jacob Friedman ever since I laid eyes on the dude and he got to talking that noise. I'm like, this is a dude I could get behind. And I'm like, that dude clowning on Twitter. That dude clowned on Twitter so hard that he made magic happen. Well, magic's already happening because that person is finding self-confidence and knows what we've all known for years, but we'll talk about it another day. But Shorty Gable won the day, but then got his ass whooped afterwards, so that should be a lesson. I don't know what the lesson is, but if you are the king, you can call people whatever and bill them whoever you want. Shorty Gable, it is what it is. We talked about the 24/7 title. Previously on wrestling, Bayley did a quick one and got one over on the Queen and ran on some heel stuff, and I love the Bayley heel stuff. Here's the thing, though. This was an amazing match. It wasn't better than the Boss and the Man, but this was a very great match. One of the highlights of the evening. But more level of course correction. Charlotte is your new SmackDown Women's Champion. As if there was no doubt because of the magic of course correction. Like, you know how SpongeBob does the thing, imagination, course correction, right? So that's what we are. And that's all this match was. Like, the match was great, but if the whole point was for Bayley not to overcome the odds, you could have shortened it a little bit. And I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy the match, but it was some point in the match when I kind of realized that Bayley was going to lose, and I was kind of like, well, I'm waiting to see when this turns into a figure eight, and maybe 3 minutes after I realized that the match was over. But before then, they was murdering each other. It was great. It was dope. And it'll be interesting to see that There's going to be a show that comes on Friday night on Fox, the home of Madden, where Brock Lesnar, who will never show up, and Charlotte Flair, who's Ric Flair's daughter, who will be at Oil Money with Hulk Hogan and a team full of dudes, including the black man who cucked another man's wife. Yeah. Mick World, bitch. It can happen. That's where we are. Cuck Sev. Things will never be the same again. I'm glad we had this conversation. Moving right along. I'm gonna ask you a question. Just put this out there. Whose idea was to have your main event inside of a virtual boy? Does anybody want to tell me? Anybody, first of all, want to tell me why Seth Rollins fighting The Fiend inside of a virtual boy? Why? I appreciate it, don't get me wrong, but why? Why is Seth Rollins fighting The Fiend inside of a virtual boy? I'll wait. Because there's movie. I will say this, though. And this is all I'm going to say, because we got other things to do. Let me see. I'm trying to articulate my words. Give me some more water. Yeah, water's fine, because I need to articulate this. I need to make this point. That's real good. Okay. Points of articulation. Now, that's different than of getting my words articulated. Okay, so the build-up to this has been wonderful. Probably one of the best builds out of this whole pay-per-view. Which in the end, spoilers, which was a great payoff because of what this match did. Just putting it out there. Firefly Funhouse has been off the chain. Seth has literally sold being scared of the Fiend. So everything in this match was working. Then this match happened. I appreciate the story being told and the psychology that's underneath. Which is weird for me to say. We're talking about a WWE product here, but it's the truth. Is that Bray Wyatt has probably in this single match as the Fiend looked better than anyone has in a match in years. Do you understand me? In years. Even given the finish had to be what it was because of what things are, I never seen somebody look that good in a wrestling ring in a very long time. And I have watched a lot of wrestling this week. I would say within the last maybe 3 to 5 years, I ain't seen nobody look as good as the Fiend in the ring. And I'm talking about not even wrestling wise, but completely selling the character. Not a lot of people get that right in their third outing. But he been walking around terrorizing fools for weeks, and like every time you sit up here and watch Firefly Funhouse, he got a wall full of victims, and it's like this storytelling dope as hell. But the great thing about it is there's only so much the Fiend can do as a character, as Bray Wyatt doing Firefly Funhouse with Seth selling it. But this match completely got the whole thing over. Seth went into a gear that was insane to watch. And Bray sat up her and it was nothing. He hit them with chairs, hit him with ladders. Mr. Sledge came in on assist like Marvel vs. Capcom, and that wasn't enough. Like, at the point when Mr. Sledge got involved, they had to throw the match out. Because they literally thought Seth Rollins killed a man. That literally, a dude that got you so legit shook that you'll murder him so you don't have to deal with his ass. That is wonderful storytelling, especially when we're talking about professional wrestling. That's one hell of a story to tell, swear to God. And it was like the way that it did it. I am in awe. Even though the fans were kind of pissed that they were inside of a Virtual Boy chanting bullshit in AEW, which is what you're supposed to do, and that's fine. Given all of this happened, including that big giant mallet Bray had, people getting put through tables, things getting stacked on top of Bray Wyatt, Seth Rollins hitting with 30 million fucking curb stomps and still couldn't put this fool away. Ladies and gentlemen, that match is an example of how you sell a wrestling character. That Seth had to, and I'm going to quote this from a throwback, dig into the depth of humanity to sit up here as his character to do something that you didn't think that he would. But yeah, he had to whoop his ass so bad they had to throw the match out. Bray was playing possum, and then Seth ended his evening literally coughing up blood on the floor. Cause I knew it. I knew what the play was. Repeated curve stones, stacked things on top of him. He brought out Daddy Triple's best friend, Mr. Sledge, and hit him with a toolbox, stacked the toolbox inside of a ladder, and hit him with Mr. Sledge. And I was like, word, like, I'm like, again, let me repeat this. I have never, ever, within the last, I'll say 3 to 5 years, see somebody look that good in the damn wrestling ring. Literally. I was already down with the Fiend. But, no, erase. However, this is going to be interesting to see where you go from here. Given that, I'm going to say this while I'm thinking about it, that I am glad that Finn Balor is NXT. You want to know why? Because at least the demon didn't have to be sacrificed to the Fiend, because that's what they would have done if they would have kept Finn in his orbit. I wouldn't have wanted to see that. They got something to protect in the demon, for real. But feeding him to the Fiend wasn't probably the way. This is probably the best way, because in this instance, if we're going to talk about feeding things, Seth had to feed a part of himself storyline-wise to the Fiend to dive to that depth. And whether this is some sort of turn that's coming, which wouldn't be the thing to do, because Seth Rollins sells your t-shirts, you probably don't want to do that because the kids love the Seth Rollins. But he going to get on Raw as soon as it opens, and he going to try to explain himself. No one's really trying to hear this, but you need to further the storyline. I do wonder if this is the first and last time you put Bray in that position. Because if they put Bray in that position again, given what happened, if he don't win, it's bullshit. And if he do, then what do you do? Because that's what we are. Real talk. Real rap. What do you do if what the thing is after the draft, we gonna continue this Bray Seth program? What do you do? Because you can't put Seth in there with him again and then have Seth win clean. Because if you do, then you destroy everything that the Fiend is. And you can't have that. And I said that when the Fiend first came out, that I really honestly thought that at that time that one or two things was going to happen. This was either not going to get over and they were going to quickly destroy this character, and Bray Wyatt was going to go back to being Bray Wyatt or whatever he was going to do. But the Fiend got over with the people. So you gotta do something. They wasn't finna take the title off Seth and put it on Bray Wyatt. That's not a thing you're going to do. So the match ending the way that it did after all the brutality inside of it, by having Seth win by having the Fiend technically win by disqualification or the match being thrown out, because I'm thinking they didn't even get on the microphone and say what it was. So let's just call it. So if Seth hits you with Daddy Triple's Mr. Sledge and then they call the match, it's a no contest, because technically Seth didn't get disqualified because it wasn't a match where you could be disqualified because it's in Hell in a Cell. So, let's just remember that I'm someone who remembers the damn rules of the match of the TV show that I'm watching. So that's important, right? So it's a no contest. That's what we call it what it is. Being Mr. Sledge. The end. Seth makes him bleed on the floor and then leaves. What do you do with this now? Raw will be telling. The draft started on Friday will be telling. Then the draft finishing up on Monday and all the ancillary stuff. So probably Saturday after next, like I said, we'll gather all that information up and we'll see where things stand with this company. But this is going to be interesting. Like I said, this could have gone a lot of different ways depending. They could, like I said, they could have fed the demon to Bray Wyatt. They could have. And they could have done a lot for him. But I really think by pushing Seth to this storyline moment where he curb stomped him 30 times and remembered that you curb stomp a black man on Martin Luther King Day because that's important. Don't worry about it. But seeing what it is that they're going to do with all this. Because, again, this was a course correction pay-per-view without me realizing until I sat down and start watching the pay-per-view of understanding that, but then I kind of knew that when Kofi gave Brock a hug, got at 5 no homo, and then lost the title and then was disrespected and completely ignored like you weren't the champion for months for somebody from MMA and they came up to Velasquez who walked out with Rey Mysterio, whose son was a prop in a match between him and his dead best friend. So, wrestling, bitch, live. There you go. I don't know what you want me to do with this information, but yeah, here we are. Yo, like I said, we gonna do some AEW catch up, cause like I said, we got All Out. We got the first episode of AEW Dynamite that we gonna get all that together. But given what it is they setting up for over there, I'd like to go over like some shots of the pay-per-view and go over the first episode of AEW Dynamite so that we can do that and then we'll get back to work as normal. Regardless of that, we have got plenty of more show for YOU. That's you. Look, I am, of course, the one and only triple G.O.D, a.k.a. Mr. CRACKCOCINE, hashtag entertainment's #1 dope man. I am, of course, the baddest moth in existence. Always got my 6 squish murder in the squadron. The congregation, may they be praised. Bessie, Janine, Magdalene, the Unos, the Doses, the Thraces, and the Quattros, bringing this heat to you. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit that bell to know when we going live. Like this video, dislike this video. Say what you gotta say after you've done one of those two. You got social media you can hit me up on. If you got something you gotta say outside this work. And of course, if you want to give money to this work, we got a Patreon and a PayPal link in the description if that's what you want to do. Like I said, we've got plenty of more show for you. Bang! And indeed we do. We've got it right after these commercial messages. Oh yeah, forgot. Sit back, relax, and stay tuned. Got plenty of more work. Believe you me, it's time to get back to work, given that everything is everything. So, AEW, whatever it is I need to review, more Toku stuff, or whatever it is that's going on, plenty of work for all of you. Right after these commercial